I'm going to wait for some people to log in, and then we can get started on a chat that I'm going to try to save to my Facebook and to YouTube because, hi, how's everyone doing out there? I just had to get this out of the way because it's turning into a full-time job. Hi, Priscilla. Thank you for that. Thank you. So you guys realize just off the bat here, with all of this detox TRS stuff, this is literally just something that I kept on my radar for over a year. Okay, I was pregnant, reading up on all of these amazing testimonials, but I was following a lot of these groups, and what I did was just keep it on my radar because I was very skeptic at first, just was like, this sounds very like a placebo thing. And I was pregnant, and even though there were safety studies shown about zeolite, because the ingredient is just pure water and zeolite. So I looked up a bunch of information on zeolite, and a lot of studies are out there showing that it doesn't affect breast milk and that it's safe to take while pregnant. I personally did not want to take anything with a detox while pregnant. I was pregnant. I was already feeling not so great all day long, creating a baby. So I just knew what detoxing symptoms were, what that entailed, and I personally chose not to do that. The reason that they say that it's safe to take while pregnant, number one, there's also been just no reports of anything other than just more nausea, more dizziness, more, babies when they're born though, even for mothers that have no vaccines in them and no vaccines while pregnant, these babies are born, and there's been so many studies already out there on over 200 something, it was like 287 environmental toxins that were found, like heavy metals throughout the umbilical cord. So this is where what they're finding from just newborn babies, which is why they say it is safe to take, because it takes 900 degrees Fahrenheit to destroy that structure. And so once it traps the metals, it needs to get out. It needs to get out whether you're peeing or pooing. And so you get a lot of people that are like, why am I going through what feels like diarrhea? Why am I using the bathroom 3-4 times a day? Guess what? It's doing its job, is what I'm trying to say. So even when we finally decided to start taking it, I just stayed quiet on it for about 4 months until the whole parasite thing. And now I'm realizing that parasites were probably coming out of me much sooner. I just wasn't doing what Jeff did, which is get the barbecue sticks out and start, sifting through poop. And so when you guys were starting to do that now, many people are experiencing parasites like by day 2, by day 3, like maybe they've just always been there. They are coming out. It's not just TRS that can pull parasites. There's other things people can do. People who've done coffee enemas, many people who've done like the crazy like cilantro detoxing, if you could take shots of cilantro daily, that can get those things out of your system too. It does pull at heavy metals. What makes TRS unique is that it gets through the blood-brain barrier because it's water soluble. Like you spray it under your tongue, it's out of your system within 5 to 7 hours. So I wanted to address that because here's what I've noticed that's happening. And while I'm really excited for many of you with this new journey of detoxing, if you've never detoxed before, I highly recommend going online and looking up what to expect with detoxing from heavy metals, what to expect your body to go through, because many people are being you're not being patient enough with yourself and with your body, because it's taken so many years to just accumulate all of these heavy metals that many people are expecting these kind of results within, a week. And every single person is going to detox differently, depending on your diet, depending on what you've ingested, what you've had injected into you. We're all going to be detoxing different. So, case in point, I'm over at my parents' house, so this is going to be really like roguish. But I started my dad on TRS I think he's day 3 or 4. No, he started Sunday, okay? He started Sunday. Look at him right now, okay? I got him over here watching videos too on what to expect with heavy metal detoxing, right, Dad? So I'm even setting him up with that because he's on only day 4 right now, and he's noticing what so many of you have pointed out, which I'm now looking into, which is the many of you were getting like the pimply rash on your inner right thigh. Why is that? Why is it always that inner right thigh where in that first week or 2 you break out right there? And then it goes away. My dad was like, "Is this shingles?" And I was like, "No, it's not shingles." But then, he said that it bubbled up last night. So last night he had that stuff bubbling up. And, he's also like, "Why am I using the bathroom so much? Why am I like, your body is detoxing. Your body is detoxing." So even for my dad, I'm like, you need to watch this for 30 minutes, okay? It's going to explain everything to you so that you know what to expect. Also, stop drinking 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day. Like, when it comes to my family, I'm like, turn up that intensity by 10, if you can imagine, because, but so he's doing it though, he's doing it, and your body is releasing all of these things. Like, we forget, you guys, that just with heavy metals in the environment, we've got these naturally occurring elements that have high atomic weight, and they're distributed like so. So I'm looking at when just to know what I'm talking about right now, I'm looking up things from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the International Agency for Research on Cancer. These are reviews that they've had on heavy metals, human exposure, toxicity, and they have literally since World War II estimated over 80,000 synthetic chemicals that are in our environment. So for the people that are also asking, well, how long should I be on this? How long do I need to? The company recommends 3 to 6 months to start really for this to really take weight and really work. For those that are key to what we're being sprayed with, okay, barium, lithium, what's in our atmosphere. Something like barium can take 6 months to be pulled from your body. So don't take my word for it with anything. Research on your own. But for those who want to know personally what I plan on doing, I'm planning on really doing my 3 sprays for another month here, because that would be approaching the 6-month mark. And then I'm going to stop, and I'll still probably do about 2 to 3 sprays a week because of what's around us. Like, our furniture is synthetic, so that is my personal plan, what I want to do, and just to always kind of keep a bottle on hand. But there you have it. I think that you guys need to really, for the people that have never even done like a juice cleanse and are starting this heavy metal detox, this is what you have to expect that it's going to be pulling from your system, just to name a few things, okay? It's pulling mercury, lead, arsenic, cadmium, aluminum, nickel, uranium, thallium, okay? These are things that it's pulling. Yes, it can pull magnesium, iron. These are things that you're like, but those are good for our body to have. It's going to pull what's in excess. So is it safe to take other supplements while taking TRS? Yeah, you can take other supplements. The only thing that you should not take is, number 1, you shouldn't be on chemotherapy, because that uses heavy metals, right? That needs like things like polysorbate 80 to get that medication to go through the system. You shouldn't be on any kind of medication that uses heavy metals, period, because it would defeat the purpose of the medication. So consult your physician, consult your doctor if you're on any kind of meds. I've had a few women on here who have mentioned that they are no longer taking their thyroid medication after being on TRS for a couple months, okay? There are people that are experiencing all kinds of things on this stuff. There's a few of you on here that are no longer experiencing your symptoms of Lyme disease. That's huge. That's huge. I had an RN that I met with a couple of weekends ago. She started TRS after her doctors told her that she needed to remove her uterus and that she was no longer able, she wouldn't be able to have children. They wanted to schedule surgery for her to remove her uterus. They left her voicemails that sounded very threatening with, you need to schedule this, you could die, you're hurting yourself if you don't take this out. She not only got on a plant-based diet, she was on TRS for a few months. She now has a 5-month-old baby. I'm not saying that this cures infertility. I'm not saying that I'm just saying that we are not even considering the amount of heavy metals that we have just been introduced to. My father on day 4, he's also experiencing the itch, and then like rash itch underneath your armpit. How many years did we go through all the deodorants, right? All the cheap deodorant that we're like, oh, this smells like lavender, and it's not real lavender, right? This smells like whatever. And we're putting these things on our body. What else are people noticing? Cheap costume jewelry, so pretty much anything under $20 jewelry-wise, that stuff has nickel in it. Okay, to list just one thing, nickel. So if you were wearing a lot of that stuff growing up and you just, the big earrings, people are noticing that their earlobes are itchy. Their face, their wrists, they're just like, why is my skin breaking out? Your skin is your largest organ, and so anything we've put on it that was not natural, our body, like, it's doing its job is what I'm saying. So yeah, if you're afraid to go through these detox symptoms, you have to make that call on your own. No one's going to make that call for you. Once again, it's not like with other substances that are forced on us. This is not a forced thing, but just know that depending on what you were exposed to, I have a guy who's following me on here. He works at the casinos in Las Vegas for over 20 years. Okay, he doesn't smoke, but he's been around constant secondhand smoke. His symptoms are a little through the roof right now. He's just like dizzy. He's feeling all kinds of things. There's virtually no way to avoid heavy metal exposure, okay? Metals, even in just natural elements. I mean, our water, our food, through the ground. It's just that it's accumulating over time. It's getting in your body tissues. Many times, this is without the person who's being affected even realizing that this is happening to them. So you've grown really accustomed to it. As with anything, right? How many people here who started the detox and you've been on it for about a month, when you drink soda, even a sip or two of soda, what does that do to your system? It's literally like setting a bomb off. But you're like, but I did drink soda for 10 years straight with no problems. Were there no problems? Or were there problems that you were not recognizing because you thought maybe it was genetic? Maybe that's just maybe that's not the norm, So long-term exposure to these heavy metals are leading to physical, muscular, neurological, degenerative problems that we're all experiencing. When they become really severe, the heavy metal poisoning symptoms are mimicking symptoms associated with things like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis. It's poisoning. It's poisoning in our system. So we are getting these things out of our system. So my heart goes out to many of you, especially with the kids. That's why we say when you're starting your kids on this, start slow. You can do even like a spray under their foot. Now knowing because I was just also under the impression with, I didn't get vaccines while pregnant. I only had several while I was a kid, like literally under a handful when I was a kid. So my kids are fine. Like Enzo's not... Well, Enzo's 9 months now. He's pretty chunky. He's 23 pounds. I'm probably going to test a spray on him here soon because they are born already with all of these metals throughout them. And so if you're a parent that you maybe even gave your kid the vitamin K, newsflash, that has a black box warning. Okay, that causes liver damage. There aluminum. You're talking that's been injected into their systems. So I'm not telling you what to do, but I am telling you that a zeolite spray it pales in comparison to what's already going on in their system. And I don't like it either. I don't like the headaches. I know that now that is due to my eyesight correcting itself, okay? But I'm also like, am I ready to do that? You know, I know what I need to do for my eyesight, okay? For my eyesight to get back to 20/20, I'm going to need to rent a cabin in the woods for like 3 to 4 months and just like throw away my glasses, throw away my contacts, keep taking this stuff, keep eating healthy, only fresh, only nutrition, other nutrition, like a lot of apricots. Like, it's like I know what I have to do, but life's so busy. Do I have the time to do that? Do I have the time? But people are doing it all day long. People are throwing away their glasses. They're seeing again, okay? But it takes getting rid of the crutch. It takes getting rid of the crutch. So when you are doing a detox like this, you know, how do these heavy metals even enter into your bloodstream? There's one, right? They travel throughout your body. They're penetrating the cells of various tissues and organs where they can remain stored for years. Why do we have parasites? Parasites coat themselves in heavy metals. What happens when you rid your body of some heavy metals? Naturally, they don't have really anywhere to go, right? They got to come out. We all need to go on this retreat. P.S. There needs to be just like a retreat, cabin in the woods, just getting away, all of us detoxing, decalcifying. That would be that's going to be something else. But how do you know if you're experiencing any kind of heavy metal toxicity? There's so many things that symptom-wise to tell you that your body is experiencing this, but you got to be in tune to it. And what's amazing actually with what TRS is doing for people is only within a day or two of people taking TRS, they're starting to notice their bodies again. They're starting to, even if the symptom is bad, like a headache or, they're actually paying attention. What does that tell you about what it's pulling? Hello? Fluoride up here, right? So that's actually a good thing. I've never in my life known of so many parents who said that they didn't even bat an eye or flinch or question the poison being administered to their babies. But now, after just like a week or two of getting on something that is helping decalcify them, they are actually paying attention to their bodies again. Go figure. They're noticing even the small things, which is a big thing. And actually but here's things that you gotta prepare for, right? If you already have skin irritation, things like eczema, you guys who are asking, like, where's the study? Where's the study on vaccines causing eczema? Look at the inserts. Look at the smallpox insert. Look at the chickenpox insert. Adverse reactions, eczema. So stop saying that is, just stop already. Stop saying that that's genetic. Okay, it's genetic because your mom also took that and your dad also took that. Like I was saying yesterday, and not to be mean or offend anybody, but maybe it's genetic in your family that people don't read inserts. Okay, but how would you know that you're experiencing heavy metal toxicity? Well, chronic fatigue, okay? Like, it's not normal. We've accepted in society that it is normal to have coffee in the morning, coffee at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., maybe an espresso during that time. We have accepted that it is normal to feel fatigued all day long. It's not normal. Do you understand this? Like, we've accepted that we need things in society to keep us going. And maybe, just maybe, the human body was not designed to be dependent. There's a thought, right? So another issue would be any autoimmune disease, including Lyme's disease, poor recovery from exercise, and weakness. If you exercise a lot and you're feeling pretty healthy, but like your recovery time is pretty slow and you're pretty like weak, you find yourself weaker after exercise, skin irritation, right? Neurological disorders, brain fog. If you're having trouble concentrating and difficulty learning and poor memory, that's due to heavy metal toxicity. Dementia, okay? Depression, bipolar and or anxiety problems. We can't say anxiety though because that's a word owned by pharma. But these are things that are due to heavy metal toxins. We're not criticizing, making fun of, or saying that depression is not a real thing. Like, it's a real thing. It's just that we're so busy trying to suppress these problems that you taking medication is not curing, right? If you need refills on medication, guess what? That means your medication's probably not working if you're dependent on constant refills. Insomnia, digestive issues such as IBS, chronic aches and pains, tremors, anemia is heavy metal toxins. It's due to anemia, okay? Impaired motor control, hearing, speech, vision, higher risk for heart attacks when you're on this stuff. So these are just some of the signs and symptoms of heavy metal poisoning. If you fall under any of those things that were listed above, and there's more, just maybe you might need to do a little bit of detoxing, okay? Just maybe. And you can take it slow. And what I say to people is, perhaps, especially with children, see how they do on just 2 to 3 days in a row of not full-on juicing where they're only having juice and almonds, okay? Don't do that to your kids either. But see how their bodies react to something as simple as like celery juice first thing every morning. And they can have breakfast still, just some type of a healthier breakfast, and then maybe in the middle of the day get into, offer them up a smoothie that's packed with just veggies, right? Veggies and fruit, something like that. See how their bodies already are reacting to clean food, clean eating, because people who just do juice detoxes, they also go through some crazy symptoms, and they'll admit this to you all day long. It's never going to be just smooth sailing unless you already were on a very plant-based, very wholesome food type of diet. There's also things that we got to consider with just mercury poisoning alone, okay? Exposure to environmental pollutants such as traffic fumes, air pollution, food contaminants, the cigarette smoke thing, all the radiation. If you have amalgam dental fillings, which are silver fillings that slowly release mercury into the body. If you have just straight mercury fillings, number one, TRS is not going to pull from those fillings. It is going to pull what it's distributing throughout your body. So that's why it's safe to take while having fillings like this in. But that's on you still at that point, to whether you want to look up this information and then make the informed decision for you and your family. If you're on a poor quality diet, like if you're eating a lot of farm-raised fish that carry high levels of this mercury, drinking water that's contaminated with trace amounts like aluminum, don't get on TRS and continue drinking tap water, Like, there's a lot of things that you're going to want to change. If you're continuously getting tattooed, know that people, depending on the tattoo ink that was used, a lot of tattoo ink contains heavy metals. So while the progress and gains and all the symptoms are helpful for other people to read, it is also important to note what that person might have gone through in their life to begin with. There are people out there who maybe went to places to get tattooed up when they were younger that were not safe places, and who knows, God knows what they were using, and their tattoos are starting to kind of fade and look funky. That's a thing. Apparently that can happen. Obviously the vaccine thing. We don't know what we were injected with. How many of your parents thought that all that was a dead virus and saline water? How many did not realize all the other ingredients, right? How many had parents who checked? No, they just did what everybody was doing. And many of us, our parents like to use the It was the 80s. Oh my gosh. So what else were you doing? What else were you doing? I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. It was the 80s. What's that supposed to mean? I'm stuck here at 5 foot nothing. What'd you do? Why did you do that? Why did you do that? If you're exposed constantly to substances that carry lead, like canned foods, toothpaste, old paints, insecticides, ceramic, pottery, and soldered pipes, these things carry lead. Like we had the whole lipstick talk the other day, exposure to other household items like antiperspirants, baking powder, certain baby formulas. You guys, baby formulas, even the organic ones, kill me because they use heavy metal ingredients, not just corn syrup. So if your baby was like all, in your opinion, healthy and just had formula, well, did you really got to look into the formula and what they've tested in baby formula, all right? Plastic toys that maybe we were eating as kids. We were eating like lead-lined toys, not eating them, but we were like, no problem putting them in our mouth. Aluminum foil, a lot of metal pots. Like consider just your cookware at home. They don't sell aluminum-lined anything for your dogs to drink out of or eat out of, but they will literally sell you cookware that, okay, if the top is Teflon, like what do you think is on the bottom as soon as that gets scratched? And how many people do you know keep their Teflon pans that have scratches all throughout them, and you're literally looking at it like, you're cooking with aluminum. You know that any of those, if you have scratched up pots and pans, I can't tell you what to do. But if it was me, trash. Just trash, okay? I'm not going to go and tell you, though, to buy just cast iron. It's really hard to be overly righteous, too, because, like I said, it's everywhere and in everything. But we got to consider all of this before getting on any kind of detox, right? Teflon itself is toxic. You're right. Things that we're just not taught. We are being sold poison. Who's awake now? When you're awake and you go back into the grocery and you look around and you're literally like, well, I guess I'll just die of starvation because this is all poison. I guess I'll just have to die now. Yep. That's my lot in life, because it's just crap that they're giving us. So, a lot of people who've done chelation therapy, that's an expensive way of doing detoxing. It does help a lot of people, but it's a huge process. It's in the thousands is what it can cost people. But what are your benefits going to be from doing the heavy metal detox? If your symptoms are outweighing the benefits, then stop. Then just stop. If you need the get healed quick type of thing, then stop. Then this is not going to be for you. But if your benefits are going to outweigh what you're going through, like the girl who's on here, whose husband was in the military since he was 19, right? He had that chronic cough. I don't know if you're listening to this live right now. I won't quite out you unless you're ready to share that story, but he had chronic cough for over a decade. They just didn't know what it was. He takes this stuff, goes through a lot of other symptoms, obviously the rash in the beginning, the skin irritation, all of it, bad headaches, okay, nausea every night. He even had some days where he was vomiting and throwing up, but still drinking a lot of water. Within a week, his chronic cough was gone, though. It's not a cure-all, it's not a heal-all, but consider what is leaving his body, what has been trapped in his body. So if you want to know about some of the benefits that can happen from doing a heavy metal detox, any heavy metal detox, truly, okay? Reduced free radical damage, oxidative stress, improvements in energy levels, enhanced immunity and gut health, improved skin health, better protection against disease and cognitive disorders, autoimmune disease, better digestive function. This isn't going to be all day. Now, if you're going through these terrible symptoms for 6 months, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I haven't encountered that yet. But there's so many, go and follow Dr. Axe, Josh Axe. He's a really good one. He goes into what to do, how to prepare, what to plan for, supplements you can take. You guys realize that especially if you're doing the CBD oil, you can do that while on TRS. That's okay. You can do that while on TRS, and the people that are doing both are going through some crazy gains. You know, the whole anxiety thing that I can't even mention is taken down. Women, why are we experiencing, we're all experiencing vivid dreams again, but women, why are we having a harder time sleeping? Ask yourself what you are paying attention to all day long and what news you're taking in. Because once you are awake, once this all gets decalcified, if the news you're taking in half the day is bad news, what do you think you're going to bed with every night? Right? What are you taking with you to bed when you know you're tired, but your mind is alert to all of these things? It's hard. It's hard for that. So me personally, I don't do any sprays past 2 p.m. I'm just like, I want to be able to sleep, you know? And then on weekends, really, I know myself, I really got to be able to tune out every now and then to all of this. But a lot of stuff you can take continuously: cilantro, vitamin C, milk thistle, probiotics. These things are supplements that you can take while on a heavy metal detox. Activated charcoal is still helping with people. You know, there are a lot of homemade anti-itch creams that I guess I could recommend a few after this thing here. I don't get paid. It's just stuff that we would do for us personally. But yeah, understanding what to expect with all of this stuff. Garlic and onions are good to be taking in. Take in as much raw vegetables as you can. If you could make a third of your daily diet raw, that's pretty good. Flax and chia seeds is good. Bone broth, okay? Bone broth is apparently helping a lot of people. A lot of people love the bone broth thing. It's keeping them hydrated. It's providing very important minerals and supports your liver health, all right? So look up things that'll help support your liver too. So, and then look up the foods to avoid, right? A lot of non-organic foods, a lot of try to stick with stuff that is seasonal, perhaps. Get away from the foods that have additives, food allergens, all of the farmed fish type stuff. So these are just things that I'm saying to expect when you're doing a heavy metal detox, okay? These are just, and then things you can experience while detoxing, okay? You might likely experience bloating, gas, nausea, diarrhea, headaches, rash, changes in your appetite. You might experience some low energy in the first few days, okay? Metallic or sour tastes in your mouth, that's a big one. You're going to start experiencing that. Meaning to say, if you used to love cup of noodles and you used to love ramen, right? How many of you, like, just thinking about those flavors, like you kind of start salivating a little bit? Try eating it again. Just not, I mean, don't, you shouldn't, but try a bite or like a sip of just the broth, right? If you're Filipino, that's sabaw. After you're on TRS for a little bit, I swear to you, the taste is like 180. You're like, oh, what is this? Okay, it like tastes soapy. And it should, because maybe that's how it's always tasted, but you've been so accustomed and used to the poison around you, all right? I'm telling you, things start tasting weird. Metallic silverware tastes weird in your mouth. Sushi is tasting weird. It is a lifestyle change. I don't like it either, is what I'm trying to say. If you were coming on here thinking that there's going to be this solution to how to, maybe what was normal before is really not normal. And that's what I hate having to admit every day that I'm waking up. And that has nothing to do with the detox thing. But literally everything I thought was normal is just not. It's just not. So understand the precautions and side effects when doing a detox. Mentally prepare yourself, emotionally prepare yourself. These are things that we're going to have to deal with. And the only way to get past those fears in your life, right, is to face them head on. This is not to say that any of the things that you used to fear are going to be less scary. It's just you're braver now towards them. Isn't that how that whole thing works? Isn't that how that transaction works to begin with? The problem is still going to be there. That thing that you're afraid of is still going to be there. The more you keep on pressing against it, the more you keep on facing it, then it's not that it's going to get easier. You just got braver, right? With everything. You can interpret that how you want to. But I think I have exhausted the what to expect when detoxing. If you did enroll as a distributor, Jeff has been on Zoom calls. He did them yesterday. He's doing them again today. He's going to set up 2 to 3 of them next week, even some at night, because if you're feeling like this is something that you need more help explaining to other people, or you just want more guidance in how you can do that, then we're happy to help you do that. And that is how I'm going to conclude this live. I will jump on and do another one because I actually want to talk about I'll post on a bit of a boomerang thing the topics I want to hit up that don't have anything to do with this, and hopefully this one saves. So Healthy Ashley is saying, I'm starting TRS this weekend. I'm so excited, doing it in addition to a major cleanse. Yeah, and and then once again, for anybody who's skeptical like how I was, check out holistichealth.com. And not just them, there's a lot of companies that do this. They'll do hair tests. You can mail in a hair sample, get your levels taken of what heavy metals are in your system, and so it'll come back to you. The results, I think, take 3 to 4 weeks, right? I'm hearing sometimes sooner, but give it 3 to 4 weeks if you want to wait that long. And meanwhile, take the TRS or whatever heavy metal detox you are using, your preferred detox of choice, and then go and retake the test. Unfortunately, I don't think that that's something insurance will cover, because does the healthcare in this country really care about your health? Or do you have to put your health first? Do you have to make that investment back into your health to check it out for yourself? Many people have done this and their levels have come back lower. And but by all means, take that upon yourself if that's something that you want to do, right? Updates on my brother's psoriasis. I can't wait to show you guys the photos. So Jed started hard into it. He started about a month ago, and then he braked for like several weeks because he just was not feeling good. Started him back up on it again last week. My brother's psoriasis covers 85% of his body, and he's going to be sharing his testimonial soon here. But you guys, literally, if his body was we did video and everything, but if his body was the globe, the psoriasis is the water. Okay, like that's how much it's taken over. It's gotten into his nails to where it looks like nail fungus, but that's nail psoriasis. It's really bad. The patches on his face, 4 days of now going 5 sprays a day, gone are his patches on his face. And I'm going to follow up with him again later today and see how he's doing. He's no longer really experiencing crazy symptoms, except the same ones we're all experiencing. Bit of headache, staying extra hydrated. So I can't wait to get video updates with Jed so that you can see how the overall improvement. But I really think he's going to need like another month or 2 to really go hard on this stuff. There are people too that are experiencing the itch. When you get itch, and what are they doing with that? Some women in the Facebook chat were saying that they just sprayed the TRS over the itch, and then within 15 seconds, it stopped. People are spraying that on their kids' diaper rash. It's stopping. So yeah. But yeah, let's hopefully Jed can come on and do a whole post. I really, really want him to, although he's like, you guys who know Jed know that he is not social media type. So for him to even allow me to video some before and afters of his skin is a big deal. But I will have him do that update, because psoriasis and eczema are completely different. They're not the same. Eczema is only taking up maybe the first layer. Psoriasis goes 7 layers deep. So he knows what to expect. He understands what is going to happen and that it's going to get worse before it gets better. Jed, his name it's actually Eduardo, but we call him Jed. It's like Hines Eduardo. But anyway, all right. I'll prep for next chat, and hopefully that answered a bunch of questions on the what to expect thing, you guys. I'm seriously, when I see the updates, I'm like, man, yep, because I know and I've been there and I'm not even that. I can only imagine for the ones that are so filled with this stuff. That's gotta suck. It's gotta suck. Right. We'll chat soon.